So I've been re-recording this video for ages now, I think. 2 years easily. This is take 14th or 15th today, so I just want to get this over with. My name is Simon and welcome to my YouTube channel, The Guitar Butcher. So, as a hobby, in my spare time, I try to rescue and resurrect some very beat up player's great instrument. And I've had the entire beautifully written script that I've had on my teleprompter, and I've tried to read it, and it just didn't sound like me. So I'm just gonna be ranting with some bullet points right now. And yeah, I've had a paragraph in the script detailing why guitarists love to acquire and play very beat up players' great instruments, but let me be frank with you, it's just money and the history of the instruments. And the monetary aspect is very clear. Those instruments, in comparison to the very mint condition instruments that you can get right now, are significantly cheaper. And the history is just, like it's adding to mojo and character of the instrument, don't you think? This is my 1969 335. And I've bought it like a few months ago with hope that it's gonna be fully working. It wasn't. I had to rewound the pickups, and I did it by hand. And by hand, I mean by hand, so like literally taking the wire off the bobbins and then redoing it by hand. It's not like fully original, but there are quite a lot of parts that are original 69. For example, the keys. Those are original Clusons, and if you know your Gibsons, those are the first to be replaced, so I'm quite happy about having those keys, because normally you would have to re-drill the hole to the 10 mm. It's I don't like grovers on my vintage instruments, but it's just me. There are some, pickguard isn't original, or the bridge collapsed, so I had to put a Nashville one. This is the wrong type of bridge, I know, but I just can't afford it. Can't afford the ABR bridge right now. Anyways, if you look at this instrument, isn't it awesome? Isn't it just like the most eye-catching guitar that you've ever seen? Like, at least to me it is. There's even like the old sticker from the shop that it was bought in Austria. I should probably visit them sometime, because they're still in service, believe it or not. But with that point taken, let's finally go to the Mustang that's like sleeping in this beautiful vintage case. Before that, I actually know the story of that one, of this Mustang, and it goes like this. So I've bought it from a guy here in Germany, and he found it at the attic. In the attic? At the attic? I don't know. Attic. Anyway, so this is what they are calling here Dachbodenfund, which I think it loosely translates to attic find. Go figure. Germans, they have word for everything. Anyways, so I've asked the guy, so is it your guitar or... No. So my father left me the house, and I've started renovating it, and I found it there. Okay, I've asked, so your father was a musician, right? No, he was a car mechanic. I was like, wow, how? Huh? And he told me the story of this one. So basically, somewhere in 70s, 80s, I think, there was an Englishman going through West Germany. How? Why? I don't know. Maybe he was an American. I'm just thinking of the options right now. And there were a lot of military bases here. There are a lot of military bases from Americans. And the guy was going through Germany with in his convertible, apparently, and his motor broke somewhere in the neighborhood of his father's garage, and the guy didn't have money, but he had a guitar at the backseat of his car, so he traded it in for the car repair. And the father didn't know what to do with it. I think someone at some point tried to learn some guitars because there is a lot, quite a lot of wear and tear in the cowboy chords area. But still, at some point it landed in the attic, and it waited 30 years to be discovered by his son and bought by me. I mean, you will see in what state this guitar is. My wife almost excommunicated me when she saw what I got for what I've paid. But still, I'm really looking forward to restore this guitar. So without further ado, we're just gonna open the case. See you there. So, let's get on with it. Let's start with the case. This is not the original case that came with the guitar. 65 Fender came with this gray, how can I say it? Gray cloth case. I'm personally not a fan of because I like my logos. But still, this is a little bit later edition of the Fender case. This is a post-CBS buyout. So you can see that there's some ghost lettering or letter ghosting, not ghost lettering. Ghost lettering, good name for a band. Of Mr. Robert Hillmore. Who is he? I don't know. I've tried to Google his name, but there was like one song that he actually recorded, and I don't know a lot about this guy. Anyway, oh wait, this should be like very cinematic. Wow. So, we've got our body, the goodies, pickups, neck. So let's start with the neck. If you know your Fender history, 1965 is a very important year for Fender because Leo Fender, the owner, actually sold his company beginning of 65. I think it was January. So let's check what do we have here. This is a very good way to date your instrument, because it's not very common for people to send down this number that is on the neck. So it reads 8 Jul 65B. 8 is actually not the day, it's the short scale signifier for the Mustang. Jul is obviously July 1965, and the neck type is B. B, from what I can tell, refers to the width of this nut here. And post CBS Gibson is considered to be like immediately worse. Like if you have 1964 Fender Stratocaster, you can buy a small house with it, and if you have 1965 Stratocaster, you can buy a small car with it. So it's like 10 times worse theoretically, but practically, I mean, look at this wood. Like this is a very, I don't know how it translates, but it is a very nice flamed maple. This particular neck was actually repainted, and I'm still on the fence if I should repaint it. I will obviously leave the headstock because it looks cool in my eyes, but I think I'm gonna sand down this neck because it is very, very uneven. You can see the there is some paint spots that would have to be leveled, and you know it's still, how can I tell that it was repainted? Because you normally won't paint the rosewood, especially that the paint is over the grooves I've told you about. So look at it. Like there are some grooves and there's paint over it. Also, this was refretted, and it was refretted in Germany, I think, because those frets don't have tanks. When I will be refretting this one, I will show you what I mean. But for now, I am pretty sure that it was refretted at some point, and it was done in Germany. Tuners are original Clusons, sorry. And the truss rod nut was completely rusted. So I thought it would be unsalvageable. But WD-40, I mean, they don't sponsor me, but it did the job, man. It was like I was fighting with it for an hour or so. Very, very steadily it turned, and just it should be fine. Anyway, veneer fingerboard. So you've got few millimeters or your freedom units of veneer, of rosewood veneer on it, which is basically also a dead tail. It is a vintage cost cutting measure, and it came directly from Leo Fender himself. Should I repaint it? I think yeah, because there is some delamination on the veneer that I will have to fill in, and then you have to sand it down. I mean, I will refinish it with shellac, so the feel of the neck will be very, very good. Also, it doesn't matter at this point if I will repaint it, because this is clearly repainted. There is some purple residue in here because the body was actually painted violet at some point. But this thing has mojo, man. It will sound good, and I know it. What do we have as next? As next point, we've got the body. So the most important thing in this body is actually electronics, because you can tell by the pot codes, and I will try to zoom in as much as possible. If you don't have the neck, or the number was lost at some point, you can date by pot codes. And here we have 6534, which means that this was a 1965. Those pots were made in 1965, and during the 34th week of a year. Okay, so the body itself is in a really not great condition, but believe it, but to me, this is more real than any Fender custom shop. Like this wear and tear, the woodworm marks and so on and so forth. What I don't like is that the previous owner wanted to know what year was this guitar made of, and the bolts were rusted, so he he forcefully removed it, so I will have to plug those and re-drill it. But there are also two interesting things, and how can you tell that the body is actually vintage one? So you have those brass plates that are shielding, and they are hammered with a nail in here, and nobody in their right mind would do it like this anymore. They just spray paint the shielding paint in the cavities. And also, when this guitar went to the painting Bereich, Jesus Christ, how can I say it? To be painted, let's say it like that. It had to be held in some way. So there's a ghosting of the paint in the neck pocket directly where they were holding it with a stick. So this is quite common for 65, for 66, and for the original Fender bodies from that era. Okay, blah blah blah, na, 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 na. Shielding yes, paint yes, electronics yes. Electronics are original. We'll see if they work, actually. I am unsure, I didn't test them. What I've tested, and I've tested it on site, were the pickups that are original, but one of them actually started acting weird and was dead within 2 weeks or so. So same procedure as previously. So I've rewired it by hand. I took the old wire off. It was broken in, I think, 10 places, and you have to, like, I've spent like a week rewinding it. I hope it still works. I've tested it like a month ago. It was okay, but fingers crossed those will be working. And obviously the guitar didn't have the pick guard, some small parts, so I've actually bought quite a lot of parts from all parts. The good news is that the tremolo and the bridge are here, and they are original ones. The problem is the tremolo unit doesn't fit, and I've watched a video by a YouTuber called Not a Luthier. Hello there, mate. And his Methstang actually had the same exact problem, where I think the body falls on itself, and this results with those bushings being too close together. So it fits, kinda fits the bridge, but you can't put the tremolo. I don't know what to do with it. I think I will have to re-drill it. We'll see. Finally, with the body, what might be interesting, and I'm gonna have to come back to the body. This is a three-piece construction, and to all of you who are like, why is it not one piece? This is very common, especially with Gibson guitars, that They were made of 2 parts with a seam in the middle. With Fenders, I think this is also 2 parts construction, but sometimes it's 3 parts in the 70s and so on and so forth. Also, don't get me started on the Gibson from the 70s, because it was made out of, I think, 20 different pieces of wood. Anyways, this is not the subject. What's interesting is that the middle part is very, very narrow. Why? I have no freaking idea, because I think also this is a little bit different wood than those 2 pieces. And it's like, what, 2 centimeters? Like 1.5 inch, I think it's in freedom units. Anyway, it's yay big for, yeah, I can't think of a reason why it's done that way. Anyways, pickups, wires, tremolo, truss rod nut, all the goodies are here. So that's it. I'm gonna come back to you in a moment. So that's it. For those of you who were expecting the whole renovation process, I don't have time right now to do it properly, and I'm sorry. I shouldn't probably start a YouTube career when I don't have time for editing, but I lack skills as well. I have no idea, I have no workflow. This is very early stages, so I've decided to do it live. Mainly because it is very, very popular right now for many guitar YouTubers, but also mainly because of a skill issue. I don't want to wait another, I don't know, half a year before I shoot this thing, edit it out, and make a 2-hour video that not a lot of people will watch. Anyways, to the point. If you could please like and subscribe, I would be much obliged. Because right now, to start a live video, I need like 50 of you to subscribe. That's not a lot, but still, you know, who knows? Maybe it will get like 3 likes and whatever. I'm not doing this for any kind of glory or money or whatever. I just want to be done with it, and I've got few projects that I want to document the process of restoration. So it's not only this one. So if you're interested, at least a little bit, please like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you in few days, hopefully. Until then, thanks for watching.